Now then, hello and welcome. My name's Simon from Premium Quality Air Rifle Accessories, and this is another video in the Bargain Bang CO2 series where I try to shoot rifles and pistols pretty much for free on a budget. Today's video I've purchased a Crosman Nightstalker in 177, and it's a CO2 blowback rifle with a 12-shot magazine. I've wanted one of these for ages, but finding a good one takes a little bit of time. You don't want one that's been overly used. There's a lot of plastic parts in these that are prone to failure if they've had a lot of heavy use. These were made from about 2000 up to about 2005, and they were in shops until about 2010. So finding a good used one, you do have to spend a little bit of time. Don't buy the first one you see, and ask a few questions to make sure that what you're getting is what you're expecting. I bought this from a gentleman in Anglesey who said he'd had it, shot it, put it away and not really used it. And when I unboxed it, after having a bit of a chat with him and making sure it was a genuine sale, I unboxed it. Yeah, it's pretty much unused, and the condition, you know, is the same as he described, which is fantastic. These are amazing bits of kit, loads and loads of fun to shoot, and extremely accurate, surprisingly. The box on this one said smoothbore on it as a label stuck over the top, which kind of implies that maybe there's one with a rifle barrel as well, but I don't think it really matters because this is extremely accurate. I've paired this up with a Vector Cactus red dot. It's the cheapest ones I sell at $34.99, and it fits well on the dovetail rail, and it's been able to put up some good groups. I've been lucky enough to borrow from a friend, Mr. Stephen Bowers, who I said I'd give a mention to, his Umarex Beretta CX4 Storm. The reason I've borrowed that is to make a bit of a comparison between the two. They are very, very similar guns, or similar rifles. They're both 77 centimetres, or near enough, in length. They're of a similar styling. They both run on CO2, and they're both multi-shots. The Beretta CX4 has a 30-shot magazine, but you need a couple of the magazines to make it any fun. This one runs on the standard Crosman 12-shot magazines that are interchangeable with the Crosman 1077 and other CO2 rifles they produce. These are very, very cheap. You can buy 3 for about £8 on eBay, and you need 6 of these. Luckily I got 5 or 6 in the box with this, so I was set to go. The reason you need 6 is I run my CO2 rifles, rather than the 88 gram CO2s that are $5.99, about £6 a piece. I run them on 2x12 gram CO2s. I find that a much more economical way of using them. I think it's better for the rifles because you're not leaving gas in them when you're not shooting them. And a 12 gram CO2 costs you 30p, so for 60p you've got it up and running. These are a very simple system. So these are made by Walther Umarex. They're £43 if you buy them from Ramsbottom's. That seems to be about the cheapest place you can buy them. It's not something we sell at this time, and they're just a really useful thing to have. It means you're only having to buy one power source, which is the 12 gram CO2s. So the way they work is you bob 2 CO2s in, one face down, one face up. You screw the top on, and then you wind this little knob back in. You'll hear 2 piercings of the CO2s, and you're good to go, and you can treat it as you would the 88 gram CO2s. I've taken that out to show you how it works and what it looks like, but in in practice, more often than not, I would leave the body of this in the rifle and just take the ends off and put the CO2 in. A really useful bit of kit. My friend Stephen does the same with his. It's an economical way of shooting CO2 rifles. Once you've got the gas in, the butt just clips back on. They are about 1 millimetre or two longer than the 88 gram CO2, so you do get a little bit of rattle sometimes in the back end, but it's worth sacrificing that little bit of sort of just to make the savings. So the Nightstalker has open sights as standard. It's adjustable for elevation at the front and windage at the back, and it has a peephole sight that's flippable for 2 different sizes of peephole. Makes it really accurate open sights, but it's more fun with a red dot because you can just put the dot on what you're aiming at and pull the trigger as fast as you can, and you get some great results. It has a safety catch around the trigger, which is a nice positive click for on, click for live, and the magazine is a catch for the magazine, which just pushes in, and this slides forward, revealing the magazine. I have to turn this round because I'm a lefty. Out comes the magazine, another one goes back in, and then I use 2 fingers to pull this back, trying to preserve the parts, you know, not put any wear and tear on it. Once the magazine's in, you've got a cocking lever on the side, which is also a part of the blowback action, so you push it forward to cock, and that's live. There's no CO2 in this, and then you pull the trigger as fast as you like until your 12 shots are done. It cocks itself as part of the cycle, which means the trigger on this particular rifle is extremely light. Makes it good for young ones, for younger shooters who don't have the strength in their fingers, and it makes it really good fun for multi-shot shooting. As with the Crosman 1077, you've got a barrel release catch, which is on both sides of the gun. You push it down and you push it forwards, and it moves the barrel forward by 2 or 3 millimeters. So if you do get any jams, it allows you to get the magazine out and clears the port. A really good, simple solution to a problem that you know you're bound to have on this kind of gun. So that's the Crosman Nightstalker. CX4 Storm, same length, about 76-77 centimeters. Works in the same way with CO2. At the back, the magazine slides out the bottom, and it's a 30 shot magazine. You'll get 60 shots out of 2 CO2 bulbs, so you do need a second magazine. And these can be bought, the rifle with the magazine, for about 250 quid second hand, up to, I've seen them stupid prices of about 500 quid new, which is ridiculous. You can buy some kits that come with scopes and silencers, or mock silencers. I wouldn't pay the extra 100 quid for that. You don't want a scope on these rifles because they're designed to have fun and shoot quickly. A red dot's perfect for it. The mock silencer might look quite good actually on the front, but it serves no purpose, and you can't really silence these down because when you shoot, this port opens on the side, gives a little blast of CO2, and all the noise comes out of the port. I've tried it with a silencer just to see, and that's the case. My friend Mr. Bowers, he's got a Vector Optics ratchet on the top of his, about 64 quid these. These are rated for bullet guns, AR-15s, so they look the part, they do a really good job. They're a 3 MOA dot, so you get a nice fine zero on it. The Cactus are a 5 MOA dot, but more than up for these rifles. It works in the same way, CO2 in the back, magazine in the bottom. This one you pull the catch back, or the slide I think they call it, and you pull the trigger as many times as you want, up to, well, 30 times, and then you run out of pellets. And yeah, good fun. The trigger's a little bit heavier on the CX4 Storm, but the build quality is better, and you do feel like you've got a little bit more of a premium item. It has a safety catch in more or less the same place, which you can make safe and live. But yeah, really good. Picking rails top, bottom and sides. Yeah, a super bit of kit with open sights that are adjustable as well. So I think definitely worth a direct comparison, those two, even though they're in a slightly different price range. I'm going to show some video of the Chrono into this. CO2s are notoriously hard to Chrono because they give a little muzzle blast out at the end, and it confuses my scan Chrono nearly every time, but hopefully we'll get a reading. I would imagine about 3 foot-pound, which seems to be the average for both of these. We'll do some accuracy testing with the Nightstalker. I have already shot it and I've already given it a good run through, and it's great. It's very accurate and a lot of fun. I'd highly recommend anyone who's thinking of investing in a few CO2 rifles for fun to have one of these in your collection. I don't think it's a shoot every day for 2 or 3 months rifle, because I think it will fail you know, after a lot of intense use, but I think if you just pull it out once a month, run 5 or 6 magazines through it, have a lot of fun, and then put it away, it's going to serve you well for a long time, and I think it'll become quite collectible. They're very, very hard to find these days. Yeah, that's it. I'll put all the other features up. Thank you for watching. If you could like, subscribe, comment, do all the things that everybody else tells you to do on YouTube. As I say, this is my first go in front of the camera. Hope I haven't made too much of a tit out of myself. Certainly hopefully silence some of my mates who've been telling me to do it, and let's just see what everybody says. Thank you very much. Cheers, take care and stay safe. Okay, I thought I'd just put a few over the Chrono. It's got some fresh CO2 in, so now's a good time to do it. I'm using H&N Econ 2 Excite pellets, 7.2 grain flatheads. They're about a fiver a tin. They're my favourite pellets for garage plinking. They seem pretty accurate. Let's just see what it does over the Chrono. What a miss is going on. Three 3.54. I think that gives us an indication. Quite often the trouble with CO2s when you're chronoing is you get a burst of gas that goes into the Chrono and it throws it off. I don't think it's worth banging another 12 pellets through there. 3.5 foot-pound, that's more than adequate for plinking. It's going to drop off pretty quick as you put more and more pellets through, round to about 2 foot-pound, which I think is perfect. Spot on, worth a go. Okay, time for a little plink. Let's see if we can hit some moving targets, knock up the knockdowns, and put a few extras in here. Let's see how we go. We've got a CO2, 2 CO2s that have had 12 shots out of. Fingers crossed we don't get too many jams.
Okay, add a bit of a pellet jam there, we'll carry on. And that's it, we're out of pellets. Good fun.